what's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great day. So today, I wanted to talk about the worst customers, or I guess parents, families that have come in to my job as a math tutor. And boy, do I have a story of a couple of people. So obviously, the most common type of bad quote customer that would come into work would be, just people with rowdy kids, like kids that just won't sit down, won't do their work, and just overall is a bother to everyone else. That's kind of like mild though, because like they can be dealt with. You can bribe them with candy, whatever. Like telling them there's a reward for you if you can like finish your pages and like sit down and just do math. But some of them will get very rowdy. Like I'm not gonna, obviously I'm not gonna say exactly who it is. I'm not gonna say like, hey, it's this person. They live here. I'm not gonna say that. But there's this one kid who comes into the center, and oh my god, hits the ground running. Right? He's like taking the front desk chair. He's sitting on the chairs that the instructors sit on. He's just stealing pens, stealing shit, throwing shit everywhere. He's running around, not doing anything, and just disrupting the entire center, right? And the worst thing about those types of kids is that most of the time, their parents are, they're kids with not the greatest parents. Let's just say like let's just say that the parents are usually the reason that those kids are kind of like that. And what happens is the kids will be incredibly rowdy. They'll cause all this disruption. They'll just do whatever, It'd just be an overall nuisance to literally everyone at the center, even the students, the center director, the instructors, and they'll be validated by their parents saying, oh, it's not your fault, it's just probably society hates you, you're all in the right, because it's like those types of parents who obviously want to protect their children, so they just kind of let them do whatever. So that's kind of the dynamic of those kinds of customers, I should say, that come to the center usually. And going back to that one kid, he comes in one day, and apparently, due to all the commotion he's been causing, he had apparently been told by his mother that he can't sit next to his brother while at the center, because her mother, or not her, his mother, thought that separating him and his brother while they were at the center would cause less distraction, which is not at all what happened, right? Because his brother he's like a different kind of trouble. But that's what they've been told, which is completely unhelpful, because like his brother is not the reason that he was causing so much trouble and running around all the place. So what happens is, I haven't been told this, and I tell this guy's brother, "Hey, why aren't you sitting next to your bro? Don't you want to like go sit next to him or something? Like sit with the group so that I don't have to move from one corner of the center to the other center, or to the other corner just to instruct you guys." So it was like, okay, sure. And he doesn't tell me that he's not allowed to sit next to his brother. So no, that entire thing starts, and the kid that causes trouble all the time, he's upset now because his brother has now sat next to him when they were explicitly told not to, when I didn't know this, right? So now he's causing even more trouble. He's just being noisy. He's just being his usual self. And we tell him, yo, you gotta move. You gotta move away from the group. And then he's like, no fair, I was here first. And then that's basically where it starts. And then the entire thing goes down. He starts crying. And I'm like, all right, bro, this is just an entire situation. Past that, I think the exact week that he started attending the center I instruct at, I started college, so I didn't come in every single day to the center. I started coming in like once a week because of the schedule of my college. And what happens is, I hear rumors of what he's been up to, and allegedly, ever since then, he has yelled out many racist things. He's yelled out the N word. He's threatened to yell out the N word multiple times, and he's just been even more of a nuisance apparently. Also, let me box these up because I heard these tables are not the greatest. I'll actually sell them. Yeah. So yeah, just an entire situation, honestly. Not even like an entire situation. It's just something you got to deal with while you're teaching at the center, because the risk is kind of inherent because you're just working with little children. Most of the time, the high school students don't really bother with those kinds of stuff. So it's like, whatever. It's usually the middle schoolers and the elementary schoolers who think they're special or something. The other type of... right, actually, before I get on to that, going back to that one kid, there was this one time where it was just him, his brother, and like 4 other girls at the center. It just how it happened to be. And he's being rowdy, and usually my strategy for kids misbehaving like that and just causing commotion is that I'll just ignore them, because not giving them attention is the best way to deal with them, right? So, all this time I'm ignoring him, he's asking... Okay, well, he didn't ask for help, but he's causing a lot of noise, right? He's making a lot of noise, he's just making a lot of disruption, and in his mind... This is his way of asking for help on his current problems that he's working on, right? And obviously we don't know that, because it's like he hasn't explicitly said the word "I need help with this." So what that situation culminated to was me going all around the room or all around the center, just helping out all the other students, which consisted of him and his brother. And at one point, he gets so upset that he calls me a pedophile. He's like, you're going around to everyone else because you like the girl kids. And I'm like, oh my god, it's so cooked. Luckily, there weren't any parents to hear that. But if they did, that's like lawsuit in my direction, police is gonna get called, no one's gonna come to the center anymore. But like that was the wildest statement he said, possibly worse than the N-words. So that's kind of I guess that's like the worst interaction I've had with a student while working at the center. As for the other kids, there's this really common trope where people try to skirt the system in some way. So the way our center works is that we have we assign like topics to the students. We'll say, okay, well, you need to work on this topic, you need to work on multiplication, so we'll give you the topics on multiplication. And how our system works is that each topic will have a set of pages. It'll usually be 5 to 10 pages long, and the first 2 pages will explain the topic, right? It'll teach the student how to solve such problems. And every single page past that gradually increases in difficulty until they reach the final page, which is something called... Well, they reach the final page, and it's kind of like a test, right? They're not allowed to get help on the test until they have finished it, and they turn it in for grading. So... Oh, I just gave her an extra $1. So... the thing about those tests, the final pages, is that we congratulate them, right? Because it signifies that they completed the entire topic. So it's like, hey, whenever you finish that final page of a topic, what we're going to let you do is we're going to give you a reward. That's usually how we do it, because we encourage kids to do that. However, some of the kids, especially the high schoolers, what they do is they skip pages until they get to the final page of the worksheet. And this is really annoying because what happens is they're going to see the first page, they're going to give up on it, they're going to skip to the last page so that they can get to the reward quicker. They're going to get every single freaking question wrong. And we're going to go up to them, we're going to have a talk. We're going to be like, "Hey, you didn't get any of these right. Are you all right? Can you show us how you did this?" They're going to be like, "I have no clue how to do it." And we're going to ask them, "Did you skip pages?" They're going to say, "Yeah, I skipped pages." Or some of them will say, "No, we didn't skip pages," but we can see through their freaking lies because they have no idea what's going on in that page, right? So it's like it's like a really annoying thing that we have to go through sometimes, where they'll just lie in our faces and say, "No, we didn't skip pages," and it's just like an entire waste of time because now they need help. They need our help explaining that topic, or we have to set them straight, tell them, "Hey, we're not gonna allow you to do this final page. You have to like go back to the first page and complete it from scratch." Generally, it's a really big waste of time when that happens. Like that's another thing that the students do. Another thing that the students do is, well, it's especially the siblings. When siblings come in, they have a tendency to fight against each other, right? Like call each other names and stuff. And well, actually, never mind. That's not really much of an issue. It's just the sibling debates, sibling issues. I don't have any problems with those kinds of disagreements. What I do have a disagreement with, or what I do have a problem with, however, is parents. Oh my god. Some of the parents are the worst while working at that center. God damn. So we have this one kid. This one elementary schooler girl. She's in like the first grade, second grade. I don't know her exact age, but she's very little. And oh my god, her dad is the worst human being to have ever, I don't even want to say graced this earth, to have ever cursed this earth. He's like the worst human being to have ever cursed this goddamn green earth. And I say that because the girl, she's really sweet. She loves making friends. She loves she has a personality, right? Which I guess is not that common within her age. She's got charisma. That's what I'm trying to say. Very cheery, upbeat girl. Comes in, does her pages, makes friends, talks a lot. Generally doesn't cause trouble. But her dad, okay, so actually I'm gonna set up this scenario real quick. So my center looks generally like this, right? Okay, hold up. Okay, imagine this is our center, right? This is where the front desk would be. This is where the entrance would be. And behind this bunch of bookshelves, this is where the teaching area is, right? So people come in. The parents usually have this seating area in the front row where the front desk is. This is where my center director will usually be. And this big bookshelf has all the binders for the kids. So the kids will come in. They'll pick up their work from the binders, and then they'll start cranking at it at the math, right? And this father, what he does is he'll come in, and this is already weird, right? He stays for the entire session that his daughter is there for. Usually what people will do is just they'll leave their kids there and come back after their hour session is done. But what he does is so disgusting. He'll come into the center and he'll sit at this exact corner right over here behind the bookshelves because he can get an angle on her, right? He sits over here to purposefully get an angle on her past the front desk, and whenever he sees her not looking at her paper, he'll stand up, he'll promptly walk over to her, lean very close to her ear, and whisper to her really disgusting threats, really vile threats that I could never imagine coming out of a parent, right? It is usually the sort of shit that you would expect to come out of an Asian parent's mouth, but like not this guy. Like, oh my god, every single time he does that, I just wanna fucking square up with that guy so badly because it's just such a disgusting thing to do. First problem with that is that it's intimidating. to all the other students. Second problem with that is it's disrupting my instruction time because he'll do it in front of my fucking face, that goddamn redneck bastard. Generally, a really disgusting guy. He honestly deserves to go to hell. Like, every single time I see him, every single time I talk to my center director about that guy, I come up with more and more creative ways to kill him, or I come up with more and more creative ways he should kill himself. Like that's how much I hate the guy. I hate him so much. And apparently, from what my center director tells me, is he'll come over. He'll try to kind of guilt trip. Not even guilt trip. He'll try to berate us into giving him free sessions. That's what my center director told me. That's what he does at the front desk. So, in the instruction area where all the students are, he's fucking whispering death threats to his own child. And at the front desk, he's complaining how our service sucks, how we don't deserve to be instructors, and that he'll stop paying for sessions if they don't give him a free month. You know, just generally, like, disgusting people shit, you know? I genuinely want him to die slowly and painfully, and I pray that that happens one day, and the poor little girl's mother finds, like, finds that girl a better father. Because, goddamn, I hate that guy a lot. I don't know if you can... You know, obviously, you could probably hear it in my voice, but I hate that guy with my guts. And the thing is, I really can't do anything against him because I'm an instructor at the end of the day, right? I don't really have any power. As long as my center director or my manager says, like... that sort of stuff is just up to my manager to handle, right? Because if instructors were allowed to say stuff, say whatever they wanted to parents, it would be like they would leave a bad review, then we would stop getting customers. It's just generally bad for a center. But genuinely, I just so badly want to say fuck you to his face, like so bad, so bad. In like the classic customer service way, go up to him and say like, hey sir, you know, I just want to let you know coming back to the instruction area is very intimidating and disruptive to all the other kids and my instruction time with your daughter. Please, I implore you to stay at the front of the center and just wait until your daughter's done with her session. That's really, I desperately want to say that to him, right? But I'm just not allowed to because I'm an instructor. And I can't disrupt the possibility of, well, I can't threaten the loyalty of our customers, right? But yeah, that's probably the worst parents that I've had the displeasure of interacting with. Really just a nightmare of a guy to deal with. As for other parents... there's really good ones out there, right? Most parents are obviously good because naturally we're a math tutoring place. Whenever all the kids coming here have parents that want them to further their education, which means for the most case, the kids that attend our center or the kids that go to tutoring places most of the time have good parents that care about them, or at least care about their education. Dude, there are really wonderful parents out there, which... Me, personally, I've never had a very loving parent, let's just say. My parents... Let's just say I'm Asian. I come from an Asian background, and I am studying computer science, and I had very good grades in high school. Let's just say that should paint the entire story of basically my entire life. But whenever I see parents like treat their kids so well at the center, I low key get jealous, man. I'm like, bro, imagine if I had parents like that. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm like fucking fuming, looking at people with loving parents. I'm like, ooh, if that was me, if that were me, I would be at the top of the world if that was me right there, you know? Just that kind of a hater mentality. But yeah, all fun and good stuff there. But there's a lot of good kids at the center too. You know, it's not good to only talk about the bad kids, because that makes it sound like as if the only people that attend the center are terrible kids. But for the most part, a lot of the kids that go there are very smart, bright, charismatic individual. We have this one kid. He's I don't even know what grade he's in. He's probably in the 3rd grade. He's a very young kid, and man, whenever he comes in, he just brightens everyone's day, because he's a really good storyteller. He reminds me of when I was young, right? He's the type of kid to come in and just be really excited to just talk about his day. He's just really excited to talk about the shit that's going on in his life. He's just really excited to like just talk. He's excited to talk and do math there. Overall, just a fun kid, right? And there's this other kid as well. A little bit, I think the same age as the other kid. Or the kid I talked about just before. Yeah, around the 2nd and 3rd grade. Really wonderful kid. Really, really smart, too. Incredibly smart. He's, I would say, about 2 grades ahead of his... yeah, he's about 2 grades ahead of his grade level in math. Excuse me. And in terms of mathematics, currently he's going over long division and proportional thinking, which is really far ahead in terms of how we determine, oh my god, how we determine math literacy in our center. Just a really good kid. And the thing is, his intelligence doesn't just stop at math. Because the thing is, during my training, occasionally, he would come up to the front desk while I'm talking with my manager about my training. And he would tell us jokes. He would tell us these hilarious jokes. And mind you, this is... Dude, I'm laughing thinking about these jokes to this day. This was like fucking 4 months ago when he said this. And I still think it's fucking funny as hell. One day, he comes up to the front desk to me and my manager, because we were talking about my training. And he has a piece of paper with him. He shows it to us, and he asks us, what does this say? It has the letter X on it. And then we say, well, that's the letter X. So then he rolls up the piece of paper, he puts it on his wrist, and says, it's a Rolex. I crack up laughing, bro. My manager, he's used to it. He's used to these kinds of jokes, but I crack up laughing. I'm like, that is the most creative shit I've ever fucking heard from a fucking... I just gave her an extra $1. From a 8-year-old kid ever. Like, in my life. This is the most creative, funny thing I've ever heard. And then just when I thought it couldn't get any better, he comes back. And with another piece of paper. And it has the word butter written on it. He asks us, what's this? We say, it says butter on the piece of paper. And then he crumples it up, throws it in the air, and says, well, now it's a butterfly. Oh my god. And then that entire day, he just came up to the front desk and just kept giving jokes. Well, not that entire day. For the duration of his hour session. Really smart kid. Really smart kid. You know, a lot of these good kids, you know, they have really good education, because I'm the type of guy who really wants other people to just learn about the stuff I love. And obviously math is my favorite subject of all time. And when I have this opportunity to explain it to other students, it makes me feel very good deep down. Like the face of Eureka when I see my students, you know, finally understand what they were doing wrong. It just fills me up with joy. And the unfortunate part about this is that just due to the current educational system, a lot of these students deal with something called learned helplessness, which is, which in a very general sense is the idea that prolonged exposure to a negative stimuli will pretty much make it so that the person or animal being exposed to that negative stimuli doesn't have the courage to speak up or get help. They basically get used to that negative stimuli. In pets, learned helplessness kind of accumulates into, you know, putting up with abuse, right? Because it's kind of just learned helplessness. They don't want to run away because it's just what they're used to. They just kind of put up with the abuse. And in terms of education, the learned helplessness is the fact that whenever they come across a problem that they don't know, or whenever they come across a problem that they feel like they should know, they just kind of sit there staring at the paper and not asking for help because they feel too embarrassed or socially pressured to ask for help because they feel that it shows some sort of weakness, right? And whenever I see that, it just kind of breaks my heart because, you know, math is a really wonderful thing, and the entire reason they're there at the center is that they're trying to learn new stuff, right? Or their parents put them there to learn new stuff, and we're there to help them. And whenever I see kids just staring at their paper, like not knowing what to do, I'm just like, I gotta go over to them and help them out, you know? Because it's because I just can't bear to see that kind of stuff. You know, just a really bad thing, and this sort of thing affects all ages too, which is the even more unfortunate part about this entire thing. I've seen it in little kids, I've seen it in high schoolers, and I've even seen it in the one college student I taught. The pre-calc guy who was like 1 year older than me, or just about the same age as me. So, you know, there's that entire thing. Like whenever he would come across a problem that he didn't know, what I would do is first I'd have him try to attempt to solve the puzzle, or not the puzzle. I tried to get him to solve the problem on his own. And whenever we did that, he would kind of just stare at the desk or stare at the piece of paper, and he'd just be like, he just kind of chuckle, right? And that kind of a chuckle was more of that kind of chuckle you make when you're kind of embarrassed, right? When you're trying to break the ice on an awkward situation, that kind of awkward chuckle you do. And it was just generally like a really tough thing, you know. I hate learned helplessness. It's kind of like not kind of like, it's what I think it is that it's the culmination of just how education is taught usually, and just societal pressure probably. But yeah, overall, I really like where I work. Just because, you know, I love teaching math. I just love teaching math. That's just how it is, you know. But it gets tough sometimes. That's basically all I'm trying to say here.